We'll start the class. We'll chant the invocation. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mavit Vishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant the verses 11 to 20, chapter 13.
मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वम् तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा ज्ञेयं यत्तत् प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वामृतमश्नुते अनादिमत्परं ब्रह्म न सत्तन्नासदुच्यते सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखम् सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वेन्द्रियगुणाभासम् सर्वेन्द्रियविवर्जितम् असक्तं सर्वभृच्चैव निर्गुणं गुणभोक्तृ च बहिरन्तश्च भूतानाम् अचरं चरमेव च सूक्ष्मत्वात् तदविज्ञेयम् दूरस्थं चान्तिके च तत् अविभक्तं च भूतेषु विभक्तमिव च स्थितम् भूतभर्तृ च तज्ज्ञेयम् ग्रसिष्णुप्रभविष्णु च ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिः तमसः परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यम् हृदि सर्वस्य विष्ठितम् इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः मद्भक्त एतद्विज्ञाय मद्भावायोपपद्यते प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव विध्यनादि उभावपि विकारांश्च गुणांश्चैव विद्धि प्रकृतिं स्मृतिसम्भवान्
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. We are on chapter 13, which is the distinction between the field and the knower of the field. And last time we had concluded the qualities of a jnani. There are 20 qualities which show that a person has attained that knowledge, is a man of knowledge, is gained that supreme knowledge of the self. So what are the effects? See, knowledge of the self is not a subject of the mind, intellect, or the senses. It is beyond. So how do I know you have achieved that self? Or how do I know I've achieved that self? With reference to my equipments. So these are the various signs that come within his equipments, which shows that this person has achieved that state. Those 20 qualities, he reflects those 20 qualities within the sphere of his mind and intelligence, which signifies the fact that he has established himself in that Atman. For example, humility, forgiveness, unpretentiousness, etc. 20 qualities. They automatically come into a person of knowledge of the self. So those were the 20 qualities which we covered and concluded in the last class. Now we'll start with the 13th verse today. So we'll chant the 13th verse. Yeyam yatat pravakshami yajñatva anadimat param brahma na sattanna saduchyate. Yeyam yatat pravakshami yajñatva anadimat param brahma na sattanna saduchyate. Now the Lord says that I will declare that which is to be known, which having known one enjoys immortality. Beginningless is the Supreme Brahman, that is called neither Sat, existent, nor Asat, non-existent. Now here he is going to answer the various questions that Arjuna had asked initially, out of which he had last answered what is knowledge. So in response to what is knowledge, he gave the 20 qualities. This is knowledge. Anybody who has these qualities, he is a knowledgeable man. Anything which is opposed to it is ignorance. If you say, I have studied all the Vedas, I know all the Shastras, I've done so many pilgrimages, but you don't have these qualities, then you are still in ignorance. You are in deep ignorance. You may not have studied all the Shastras, but you have those qualities, then that is knowledge. That means you have gained the knowledge of the Atman. Now here he is going to say, what is it that is to be known? Arjuna asked, what is it that I have to know? What is the purpose? What is it in life that I need to achieve? What is the purpose? What is it that is to be known? So he says, I will tell you that which is to be known. So it is so important to know where we are heading for. What are we striving for? What is it that we have to gain? When you start on a journey, you ought to know where you are heading for. What is your destination? You cannot just sit down and take off. All these efforts, where is it leading me to? See, if we misunderstand it, if we are not aware of our purpose, then obviously we'll get misdirected. We'll get into bylanes, and we will constantly keep on hitting dead ends. Mm. Now, if we do not have a clear vision of that which has to be achieved, that which has to be gained, then we will get distracted here and there and think that we are going in the right direction, or think we have gained that, but that is not the truth. So we have to have a very clear vision as to what is to be known. Mm. Now, what is it that you're putting so much effort in striving in your spiritual path, but ultimately, what is it that you are striving for? All that is within our known sphere, that our senses can contact, that our mind and intelligence can comprehend, that comes within the known, that we already know, or even if we do not know, it is possible to be comprehended within the intelligence or the intellect that one has. Like scientist studies the cosmos, he studies the universe. He constantly comes out with new secrets and mysteries involving the universe. It is comprehensible by the intellect. The choices that we make of what we have to achieve is usually within what we can comprehend. For example, a person says, I want to become rich. He can comprehend that. I want to become powerful. He thinks if I become the prime minister, if I become a CEO, I'll become powerful. Or he wants to gain certain status in life, certain position in life. He wants to become famous or popular. These are known things. So he selects something which is within his purview, which he understands. And he makes those choices in order to find satisfaction and happiness. Now, if he doesn't know what is it that is truly to be gained, then all his life he strives for various types of things, and all the years get consumed, but at the end of it, he still finds himself that is still dissatisfied, still unhappy, still agitated, still subject to sorrow and suffering. So he had made all the choices. He created his own recipe for happiness. He said, I want to be educated, I want to get a job, I want to have a family, I want to gain recognition, I want to get promotion. Everything he gets. But at the end of his life, he finds he's still asking questions. He still has so much dissatisfaction within him that is still subject to suffering, etc. So the fact is, he never really knew what is it to be gained. He strove for that happiness, that complete happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment. But at the end of it, he might find himself still completely dissatisfied, in spite of the fact that he is able to achieve those small purposes that he wanted in life. He wanted to be educated, he wanted to get married, he wanted to have a good job, everything. Having everything, still he finds himself dissatisfied because he missed out on the true purpose of life. What is the true purpose of life? He says, having known which one enjoys immortality. That which we know within our senses, everything is mortal. Everything has a beginning and everything has an end. We are not able to understand anything which is immortal, that which sustains itself at all times, in all ages, in all every. We are not aware of that. We are striving for immortality. So when you say I want to get wealth, wealth is not immortal. It comes and goes. It diminishes. Power comes and goes. Sense enjoyment comes and goes. These things are not going to give you that immortality. So that which is to be known is immortal. Body comes and goes. Body is not immortal. So we constantly hit points of dissatisfaction. We constantly have losses in life because we are pursuing something which is mortal, which is perishable. Unknowingly, innocently, we think if we become very, very rich, we'll be very happy and satisfied. But the happiness that you get out of the riches and the sense objects is very, very fleeting, very flimsy. Rich people are also bored. Rich people are also agitated and unhappy. With all the riches, there is so much of boredom in their life because that happiness doesn't stay with them. It comes for a very little time and goes away. That excitement of having struck a big deal or having gained a great profit doesn't last for long. Soon the mind starts developing new desires, new attachments, different ways of looking at happiness. So, this is not our purpose of my life. My purpose of my life is to reach that immortal self. Is the body immortal? No. Then it is not my purpose. Are my ideas and beliefs immortal? No. Then that's not my purpose. That which is to be, that, not this, that. It is transcendental. It is beyond our present known field. The present known field that we have of perceptions, emotions, and thoughts, it is not within that purview. So, truth has to be unfolded. The yogic path is where we unfold the truth, we uncover the truth, we realize that truth. We do not reach out. We do not reach out into the known field. We transcend the known field and discover the unknown. The truth is there, right within us, but we do not know it. What we know is only the subject of the senses. We hear, see, smell, touch, taste, and that is what creates our thoughts, and that is what creates our beliefs, and that is what brings up emotions. They are all centered around the senses. But everything that is centered around the senses is mortal, perishable, transient. So, therefore, this doesn't become the goal of my life. The goal of my life transcends these perishable objects, perishable things. Having enjoyed, I will gain immortality because that is what we want. We want permanent happiness. We want to transcend sorrow. We want to transcend ignorance. We want to gain that happy. We don't want to gain happiness. We want to gain infinite happiness. Now, when you say I want to gain infinite happiness, can infinity be attained through finite things? You can keep on adding money, lakhs and lakhs and lakhs, but it still remains finite. Infinity is not a subject of your finite efforts. Your finite effort cannot add up to be infinite. So, that which is infinite inside you, you have to recognize that which is infinite inside you. Body is perishable, your thoughts are perishable, your emotions come and keep going. But that which is imperishable, you have to discover that. You have to identify that. What is it that is imperishable in me? I die and I take birth again. My body perishes. But do I perish? Hmm. My circumstances change. Yugas change. But do I perish? What is it that survives the death? What is it that survives that destruction? That which is to be known, having known that infinite self within you, you become immortal. As you get closer to that self, Your happiness level increases. Things which can bother you or things which can overpower you, they diminish. You get less and less affected by the world. The affectation by the perishable objects become less and less. As you approach the self, your happiness level, your stability level, your peace level increases, and your sorrow, suffering, agitation, affectation by these things decreases. That Supreme Brahman is beginningless. And obviously, when it says it is beginningless, it is also endless. It is immortal. Everything has a beginning, but Brahman doesn't have a beginning. So he is making it, see, these are pointers towards that purpose, towards that reality. He cannot directly give you the experience of that reality. He cannot directly point out, like I point out to a house. See, you should also have a house like that one day. Or I point out to a vehicle, you should also have. Or I point out towards a wealthy man, you should also become a wealthy man like him. Should have. These are known things. You can directly make them uh, trans transmit that knowledge to another person. But the knowledge of the reality cannot directly be transmitted. I cannot tell you what it is, but I can give you pointers. The pointer is, firstly, it is having gained, you will become immortal. You will enjoy immortality. Second is, that Supreme Brahman, that reality is beginningless. Now, whatever we are seeking, is it beginningless? My birth is also big, has a beginning. My career also has a beginning. My enjoyment also has a beginning and an end. My popularity also has a beginning and diminishes after some time. Everything has a beginning and an end. Whatever there is within the world that I am aspiring for, I must question, has it a beginning? Has it an end? Yes, then this is not my purpose. Don't get attached to it. Experience it, but don't get attached to it. You have no choice but to experience it. In life, whatever you are doing, things will happen. You have to go through life, but understanding very well that this life, the things which you are experiencing, is not your purpose, it's just a journey. That which is to be known is beginningless. So anything that we are aspiring for has a beginning. So that means that is not the truth, that is not the reality, that is not the purpose of my life. So I must seek that purpose of my life. I must follow the path of yoga, purify myself, myself, elevate my consciousness until I transcend the limitations of my physicality, materiality, and strike that essence within me which is immortal and which is always there. That is the purpose. Having gained that, you will gain that supreme truth, that supreme reality, that which you are looking for. You will gain that immediately. All other efforts will only take you to dead ends. After some time, maybe 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 50 kilometers, you will come to a dead end. Then you will have to retrace your path. None of them will take you to that immortal self. So don't get attached to it. Keep on unfolding, keep on purifying, keep on following the yogas, karma, bhakti, jnana yoga, and through meditation, ultimately, you transcend the limitations of this creation. So that which is beginningless. So he has given already he has given two things. What is the purpose of your life? He says firstly it gives you immortality. Body doesn't give you immortality. Name doesn't give you immortality. Mm. And secondly, it is beginningless. It has no beginning. Everything that we have in this life has a beginning. Our happiness has a beginning, then it ends. Then we look for more happiness. Our name and fame has. Everything has a beginning. And third, pointer that he gives is it is neither Sat nor is it Asat. Now, Sat means what? That which exists, that which is, like a building is, a person is, a country is, the world is. These are substances. You can say they are existing. You can see their existence. It has a form. It has a name and form. It exists. You can see the substantiality of it. Atman cannot be said like that, that it exists in a form. It exists in a particular way. There is no definition. There is no recognition like we recognize a object. So you cannot call it asat. That means it is not there. That means the reality is not there. No, no. It is also not asat that it is not there. See, chapter 13 is a very subtle philosophical chapter. And even more philosophical than 13th chapter is the 15th chapter. Other chapters are also philosophical, but this chapter is very philosophical. And 15th chapter is even more philosophical. It is neither Sat nor Asat. It doesn't exist the way we think it exists, like an individual exists, the king exists, a person exists, uh, uh, history exists, civilization exists, space exists, air exists, sun exists. Atman must be also existing. No, it escapes all definitions. You cannot define it. You can point it. These are only pointers. These are definitions which are pointers. They are not exact definitions. They are all definitions in the negative. You cannot say it exists, neither can you say, oh, that means it doesn't exist. No, no. There is something reality, something needs to be realized. But it is not to be realized in the way we realize the study of physics, study of botany, study of history. Not in that way. It doesn't exist like that. It cannot be brought under any purview of any definitions. So it is neither existing nor not existing. So anything that you are doing in this life, anything that you are achieving in this life, it exists or it doesn't exist. Like we say today, dragon doesn't exist. Hmm. Elephant exists. It cannot be put into that sort of a definition, put into that sort of a window. No, it exists, neither exists nor not exist. So it escapes every form of trying to point and pinpoint it. So what do I do? It is totally unknown. I do not know anything which doesn't exist. Either it exists or it doesn't exist. But this neither exists, neither it does not exist. Hmm. So it has to be unfolded. It has to be unfolded. Unfolded. I cannot get attached to my ideas and beliefs. I cannot get attached to any definitions. I have to let go this ego. I have to let go my conditioning. I have to let go my conditioning. And having let go my conditioning, what I will experience cannot completely and properly and pinpointedly described in your conditioned state. It cannot be because you are in a condition, just like you cannot explain something to a child. But when he starts growing up, he begins to understand many things. And as he keeps on getting bigger and bigger and educated, he begins to understand many things which he couldn't understand when he was 10. Similarly, when you grow in spirituality, many things come within your cognition, within your consciousness, which were totally, you couldn't even comprehend them. It is not that first you set a target and then you try to achieve it. You do not know that target is unknown. You can point it, but you cannot define it. But you can point it. See, as an illustration, we'll say, let us say there are two rooms. One room is well lit and you can see everybody and everything in that room. And there is another adjoining room which is absolutely steeped in darkness. You do not have any clue what is there inside that room. Now, whatever you see, you start making choices within that. Television is going on, food is laid on the table, people are having conversations, various activities are going on in that room, various things are there, various articles are there. So you keep on meddling with them and making your choices. But the nature of everything that is in this room will only give you temporary satisfaction, temporary happiness, temporary sense of peace. You're constantly striving. Nothing in this room will give you that immortality, that immortal state, beyond birth and death, beyond joy and sorrow. Nothing in this room. And you do not know what is in that room, that other room. The knowers of the truth have told us that that which you are comprehending right now is not the source of happiness. The source of happiness is beyond your comprehension at the present moment. It is beyond the comprehension. It is not in wealth, it is not in power, it is not in the pleasures of the senses. It is beyond your comprehension. So when you keep on dwelling within this world, one day I'll become the king, one day I will do this, one day I will do that, you will still be in the transient, temporary world of joy and sorrow. All your effort, you may become as successful as you want. You may go as deep into the ocean as you want. You'll still be wet because it's water, water everywhere. You'll still be wet. You'll never become dry. You'll still be in ignorance. But when you direct your attention towards that, see, it's the question of directing your awareness. When you start looking towards that dark room, slowly, slowly your consciousness starts awakening that there is something. You're so involved in what is known that you're not allowing yourself to go into that which is unknown. You're not directing your attention towards that. You're only directing it towards the material world, into space, into time. These are all the known periphery. Within that, you are trying to make your efforts. Yes, Mr. Kalyan Kumar.
One minute. Yeah. So there is this line of thinking that knowledge proceeds from the known to the unknown.
Uh,
So if that be the case,
yeah.
then you are saying, I mean, we all know that the self is beyond the
It
known.
is known to the unknown, but what happens with us is we go from the known to the known, known to the known, known to the known. Where are you going into the unknown? You are only delving within the sense sphere. I act in this world in a way that I've been told. Act without, transcend your ego, give up your ego, act with
Mm.
your ego and transcend it. Transcend
Oh,
your
okay.
attachments. Don't give up your wife, give up the attachment to your wife. Don't give up your wealth, give up the attachment to your wealth. Don't give up your knowledge, give up your attachment to the knowledge. In knowledge, you will not find anything. In your wife, you will not find true happiness. In your wealth, you will not find true fulfillment. So they have said how to delve into the unknown, how to get into the unknown. Move towards the higher planes of your consciousness. Act in this world, but act in a way that your consciousness unfolds. Don't give up the world, but give up certain things which are holding you down, pegging you down. Your ego, your attachments, your desires, your delusion. These things have to be given up. A new perception will be gained by you. See? So you're going from the known to the unknown. You're acting in this world. You're not giving up the world. But you are acting in the world in a way that your perception, your consciousness is awakening. See, the moment a person understands that there is a reality beyond, his journey to waking up starts. The person who just delves within the framework of time, space, and causation, he keeps going in circles and circles and circles. He may find many new things. He may become very famous or very brilliant in the world, but it will not lead him to lasting happiness. It will not lead him to lasting happiness. A scientist is also susceptible to sorrow as much as anybody else. He will not discover that true happiness.
So let's take the example of your wealth. You
Hmm.
said you you pursue wealth but don't become attached. If you pursue wealth and
No, don't
continue to
pursue.
pursue wealth, you move from known to known, is it?
No, no, you don't pursue wealth. You pursue your ideal. Wealth will also come, name and fame will also come, everything will come. You don't pursue anything. You pursue the truth. You direct yourself towards the truth. Lead a righteous life. Do your swadharma. If you are an engineer, doctor, you be a doctor. If you are a householder, be a householder. Don't pursue anything. If a doctor is doing his work dedicatedly, he will earn some wealth. But if he thinks if he earns in crores and crores, he'll become very happy. He will not. He has to pursue his profession in a way that inner unfoldment takes place. If he gets attached, if he gets egoistic, then he will never be able to overcome sorrow, however successful he may be.
Hmm.
You have to perform your actions within your swadharmic field in a yogic manner, not in a bhogi way. As per the instructions given to us in Bhagavad Gita or any Shastra, they tell us how to conduct ourselves. Follow the path of dharma, follow the path of righteousness, follow the path of truth. In your contact with the world, follow the path of dharma, righteousness. Direct your attention towards that higher. Keep a higher ideal in life. Then function. That is known to the unknown. You will lift yourself like a child is in KG class. Then he goes to the first class, second class, third class. His unfoldment takes place. He doesn't give up his KG class studies. He studies and then goes to the first class. He transcends KG class. Then he transcends first class, second class, third class. Ultimately graduates. So we have no choice but to act in the world. But the way we act, we become more and more bound to the world, more and more attached to the world, more and more further away from reality. But a yogi acts in a way by purifying his inner self, by conquering his inner self. He unfolds the reality. He acts in what is known, but he acts in a way that it unfolds the reality.
So in regular, let's say we bring down this to a little more concrete level. So how do we act in the known world to unfold the unknown?
See, we have already covered so many chapters. Yes. Firstly, your purpose of life is to know the Atman, not get involved in the physical activities, not get involved. Perform your physical activities. Don't get involved. Overcome your attachment and desires to the world. Overcome your attachment and desire. Overcome your ego with reference to the world. See, I can talk to you in an egoistic manner also, or I can talk to you just a matter of fact, out of love, compassion, out of wisdom, without doership. Both ways I can talk to you. I can relate to you with selfish motives, or I can relate to you without any motives, just out of pure love and feeling of oneness. Action is the same, but both are going in the opposite direction. You can like another person for a very selfish reason, or you can like another person because you just out of pure love. Whether you gain anything or you don't gain anything, you like the person. Love emanates from you. I do my duties. I go to my office and I do my duties out of sincerity, commitment, devotion. Not because I want to become the CEO of the company or anything. You may become, there's no harm. Action is the same, but if you do it with egoism, with profit motive, with trying to supersede others, things like this, then you're going in the opposite direction. When you're performing that action out of inner purity, out of purifying yourself, bringing out all those qualities, 20 qualities, humility, unpretentiousness, forgiveness, detachment, balance, so many qualities are there. Then you're moving towards the self. Self cannot be defined to anybody, but you will realize it. Slowly, 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 you will realize it. Why are we doing any activity? Why am I talking to you? That depends whether I am unfolding myself or am I just getting attached to the world. Why are you going around with your friends? How are you relating to the wealth? What is your relationship with your work? Is it only selfish and egoistic? Or do you really want to serve? Or you really want to unfold? Or you really want to purify yourself? Is it a means to purify yourself? Or is it a mean to just supersede yourself? Supersede others? Establish your ego? Is it to establish your ego? Or is it to serve the Lord? You may become very wealthy, that's another thing. But what is the purpose of your work? Is it to serve the Lord? Or is it to extract things from Him only? Oh God, give me this, give me this, give me this. He gives you everything, and then you say, thank you, God, bye bye. You'll never find happiness. You work in the known, but how are you working? Is the train moving towards your destination? Is going opposite your destination? So don't shun your action, but purify your action. Correct your action. Action is going in the opposite direction. Then how will you find happiness? You will only find more and more struggle, more and more sorrow and suffering. You will not find happiness. Same action. You do. Same action. Ramchandra ji, he also had a family. He also had a kingdom. He also had wealth. He also had power. Krishna also had wealth, power. He also enjoyed the pleasures of life. But the direction of the action was totally different. Hanumanji, no doership, but so much power. So much he accomplished. No doership, no desire. But did he lack anything? It is not the question, did he lack anything in the outside world? He he did not lack in anything in the outside world and inside world. He was completely established and fulfilled within himself. Completely. And he achieved so much. Direction is very important. Action is the same. Direction is what makes the difference. Are you doing it for selfish reason or do you have a higher ideal, higher purpose? Hanumanji is ready to sacrifice everything for Ram. But we are not ready to do that. We only want from Ram. Hello Ram, give me this, give me this, give me this. He doesn't want anything from Ram. Ram takes care of him in every way. He works, he is ready to sacrifice everything for Ram. And we want everything from Ram. He is ready to sacrifice everything for Ram. That's the difference. So he is so powerful. He is so wise, so intelligent. Yes, Mahesh ji.
Since Brahman is non-existent, neither existent or non-existent, can we also see it is neither known or unknown?
It is beyond known and unknown.
Okay.
Beyond
Yeah.
known and unknown. Something very indefinable. Only when you reach it, you will know it. You cannot pinpoint it. You can point it, but you cannot pinpoint it. If somebody doesn't understand love, how can I explain what is love? He just doesn't understand. He will even snatch the sweet from the child's hand and have it. He doesn't understand what love is. He may see people embracing, he may see people talking sweetly, but he doesn't understand. So unless love awakens inside you, you cannot understand even something like love. Forget Brahman. A person who doesn't see the point, he doesn't see the point. That's it. You can keep on breaking your head against the wall. He doesn't see the point because that awakening is not there within him. So unless we do not awaken from within, whole process is to awaken. It is not getting something from the outside that I have learned the Bhagavad Gita completely. I know all the verses, I know all the interpretations. But if you have not, like Buddha said, I have not come here to teach you, I have come here to awaken you. You may not know one word of Bhagavad Gita, but if you are awakened, you know everything. You know all the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita will flow out of you. Otherwise, they look very strange concepts. How can one be egoless? How can one be desireless? How can one have universal love? How can one not depend upon the fruit of action, etc., etc.? They sound very strange concepts. We hear them, but we do not understand the practicality of these concepts. We do not know how is it possible. We are trying to just intellectually trying to catch it. No, until inner unfoldment takes place, inner purification takes place, you will not get the spirit of what is being said. And once the inner unfoldment takes place, you will see that this is how it is. It is so obvious. There is no other way but this. What Krishna is saying, that is the only way. That is so obvious. It will become very obvious to you. Like last time also we were saying, you may know a lot but understand very little. You may understand also but experience nothing. So knowing must convert into understanding, and understanding must convert into transformation. Until that transformation doesn't take place, the reality of that thing will not come to your cognition. You will not come to know.
Just like Ramana Maharshi or Sri Ramakrishna, they weren't scholars of the
Yes,
in any
yes.
sense, but they saw everything.
They saw everything. Yeah. Whatever they said conformed to the scriptures.
Yeah.
The scriptures flowed out of them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
So
there's a
now,
question in the chat.
Hanji,
There is a question in the chat, two of them now.
Hanji, बताइए. What are the questions?
One is by Pravesh. What is Sat Chit Anand?
See, Satchit Anand is again a pointer towards that which is. But here he says it cannot be defined as is or not is. But as a pointer, it is given that which is. What is that which is neither Sat nor Asat? Sat, Chit, Anand are just 3 pointers that is. It is conscious. It is not like a stone. It is, but it is not conscious. It is. It is conscious. And it is conscious, but not in pain. It is blissful. These are the 3 things. We want to be immortal, but we want to be consciously immortal, not like a stone. Consciously immortal. And we want to be blissful. We don't want to be in pain. These are the 3 things that a person is aspiring for. So Brahman is described as that which is conscious. Brahman is not something which is not conscious. It is consciousness. And it is full of bliss. It is the source of all bliss. That is one way of describing Brahman. But here what he is saying is slightly different. He is saying it is, but it is cannot be defined as something is, like the way we say car is, man is, mountain is. It is neither Sat nor Asat. Neither exists like the universe exists. And neither can we say it doesn't exist, because it does exist. So you have to understand the context in which it is saying. हाँ जी, next question क्या है?
Sorry, only one question. The other one
Okay,
was a comment. Yeah. Thank you.
okay, thank you. We can just start the next verse, 14th verse. सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति सर्वतः पाणिपादं तत् सर्वतोक्षिशिरोमुखं सर्वतः श्रुतिमल्लोके सर्वमावृत्य तिष्ठति. With hands and feet everywhere, with eyes, heads and mouth everywhere, with ears everywhere, that exists in the world enveloping all. Envelops all. What is it? That reality. So again, this is another pointer. He says that reality envelops everything in this world. Hands and feet everywhere. See, if I am moving my hand, if you are moving your hand, it is because of that power. It is not that my power is different. I am moving because of my battery and you're moving because of your battery. No. Every movement that is happening within the birds and worms and human beings, anywhere, anybody who's moving his hands and feet, it is his power that is moving it. It is not independent to you only. Hands and feet everywhere, eyes everywhere. That consciousness functioning through your eyes makes you perceive things. Consciousness functioning through your hands and feet makes you act in this world. Your consciousness is not different from mine. Hands and feet are different. Eyes are different. What I perceive may be different from what you are perceiving. But that which is making you perceive it, that which is making you act, is the same. We do not see that same factor. We see differences. My body is different, your body is different. My hand is different, your hand is different. My thinking is different, your thinking is different. But that which makes me think, that which makes me act, that which makes me perceive is the same. That is what we need to know. We do not need to know what I see, what I hear, what I smell. That I do not need to know. That I know anyway. But that's not referring to the truth. That which makes me see, makes me touch, makes me feel. I'm everywhere. I'm enveloping this whole world. Go to the remotest forests in Africa, Amazon forests. The insect there, that is also functioning according to the consciousness pervading everything. It envelopes everything. Your house doesn't envelop everything. One country doesn't envelop everything. The earth doesn't envelop everything. Nothing envelops everything. So, what is it that I need to know? With eyes, heads, and mouths everywhere. That which makes me speak, that which makes me eat and swallow and digest, that power is the same. With ears everywhere, that exists in the world, enveloping all. So, example that is generally given of clay and the pots. You can make 1,000 pots out of clay. You can make 10 lakh pots out of the clay, and you can distribute it all over the world in different houses. My pot is different from your pot. It may be different in design, it may be different in size, whatever differences might be in color, etc. It may be different. But he who knows the clay of the pot, he knows all clay. He doesn't have to go to your house to see what clay is. You don't have to come to my house to see what clay is. All pots are made of the same clay. They look different, they are placed in different places. You may use it in different ways. Somebody might use it to put a plant there, somebody might put water there, somebody might use it as a decoration piece, whatever you use it. If you know the clay of the pot in your house, you know clay all over the world. All the pots are made of the same thing. Similarly, if you have realized the self within you, I am not different from you. My body may look different. My thinking may look different. That truth is not different. I and you are the same. I and the birds are the same. I and the animals are the same. I and the vegetation, flora and fauna, all are the same. That pervades everything. That functions through everything. If I know myself, I know everything. But if I know my ego, then I do not know everything. I only know my ego. But there is something within me which transcends that limitation, that ego, that limited mind. It transcends it. But I am only seeing through my narrow spectacles, my narrow vision, which my ego and my see. So you may explain whatever you want to explain to Ravan about Ram. He will not understand because he is seeing it through his ego. Everybody tried to explain to him. His wife tried to explain to him. His brother tried to explain to him. His son also ultimately tried to explain to him. His brother, everybody tried to explain. He did not understand because he was trying to force his understanding through his ego. Hanuman understood it. Mandodari understood it. Indrajit also ultimately understood it. Shabari understood. He couldn't understand because he was not able to let go his ego. My ego is not everywhere. Ego is limited to me. But when I transcend my ego, I hit upon that thing which pervades everything. Then you and I are one. Everybody is one. Everything is one. I am seeing through your eyes. I am seeing through my eyes. I am seeing through the bird's eyes. I am seeing through everything. That is the purpose. That is that which is to be known. It is not that this body is to be known. You can know the body, but that is not the purpose, ultimate purpose. That which pervades everything, which functions through everything, that truth, that reality which envelops everything is the purpose of my life. That is what I need to know. That is functioning through my ego also. But I must not allow my ego to limit my vision. I must step out of my ego and connect to that and then function in the world. Function from the point established in the reality, not established in your ego. Established in the reality, then function. And then you become free. You become liberated. You become blissful. So, in his explanation as what is to be known, he has already put in so many parameters. And in 14th verse, he says that reality envelops everything. It is not limited to one person or a community or any species or anything. It limits, it's unlimited. That reality. If you know that reality in you, in yourself, you know everything. You know you are everywhere. You know everything. Your knowledge becomes complete. You become totally blissful because that is the source of all happiness. So for today, I think we'll conclude over here. It's already time, and we'll continue next week. We'll just say the concluding verse. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti